Welcome back to Coin Collector's World, the place where we explore the hidden treasures of history that might be sitting quietly in your pockets, drawers, or coin jars right now. Today, we are unlocking the mystery of one of the most fascinating coins struck in modern times, a coin that seems ordinary at first glance but has a story, a legacy, and a surprising value that has shocked collectors all across the world. I am talking about the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from the year 1994, proudly bearing the P Mint mark from the Philadelphia Mint. When you think of a quarter, the first thing that comes to mind is simple change, something you use for vending machines, parking meters, or a quick snack. A piece of metal worth just 25 cents. But the true magic of coin collecting is that hidden beneath the surface of these everyday coins can lie treasures worth more than gold. The 1994 Washington quarter is one such piece. At first sight, it is just another coin with the familiar portrait of George Washington on the obverse and the majestic eagle with spread wings on the reverse. Yet to a trained eye, this is a coin with secrets. Let's rewind a little bit and understand the background. The Washington quarter was first released in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design by John Flanagan became iconic, symbolizing strength, liberty, and the history of the United States. For decades, the eagle reverse flew proudly across the nation's coinage. By the time we reached the year 1994, the design was already a household sight. Millions of these coins were minted, spent, and circulated. But, as every coin collector knows, rarity does not always mean low mintage. Sometimes, rarity hides in condition, in errors, in tiny differences that make one coin stand out from millions of others. Now here comes the Philadelphia Mint, represented by the letter P. The Philadelphia Mint is famous for producing massive numbers of coins. In 1994, it struck countless Washington quarters. To most people, they were just coins. But among those countless strikes, there exist survivors that are different. These are the coins that collectors chase after, coins that bring excitement to auctions and whispers in the collecting community. What makes them so desirable? The answer lies in three key factors: condition, error, and scarcity. First, condition. Coins that are uncirculated, coins that have never touched a cashier's hand or a vending machine slot, are the true gems. A Washington quarter from 1994 that remains in perfect mint state condition, with sharp details and blazing luster, is a coin that collectors dream about. Second, error varieties. Sometimes, during the minting process, things do not go as planned. A slight misalignment, a double strike, an off-center image, or a double die can transform an ordinary coin into a rare and unique specimen. Error coins are highly prized because no two are exactly alike. And third, scarcity in high grade. Millions of quarters may exist, but how many survived in pristine, untouched condition? How many were carefully preserved instead of being spent? Very few. That is what makes the search so thrilling. Imagine you are holding one of these coins in your hand. The silver-colored surface gleams under the light. The portrait of George Washington looks crisp, almost as if it were struck yesterday. The eagle on the reverse spreads its wings with power and majesty. And there, just beside Washington's portrait, you notice the small but significant P Mint mark. That tiny letter tells you the story of where this coin was born. In the bustling halls of the Philadelphia Mint, collectors know the feeling of flipping through rolls of coins, searching through jars of change, and suddenly spotting something that feels different. The heartbeat quickens. The eyes widen. Could this be the one? Could this be the coin that turns an ordinary day into an extraordinary discovery? The 1994 P Washington quarter dollar represents that exact possibility. To most people, it is nothing more than pocket change. To the dedicated few who know what to look for, it is a symbol of history, artistry, and immense value. It is the kind of coin that makes coin shows buzz with excitement, that makes collectors pay close attention to auction catalogs, and that makes the dream of treasure hunting very, very real. This is why people love coin collecting. It is not just about money. It is about the stories these coins carry, the journeys they have taken, and the secrets they hold. Every coin has lived a life. Some have been passed hand to hand through generations. Some have been carefully tucked away in albums. And some, like the rare 1994 P quarter, have been lifted into the spotlight of numismatic fame, and now, after walking through its history, after peeling back the layers of what makes it unique, we arrive at the moment that truly captures attention. Because this coin, this small piece of American currency that once bought you nothing more than a gumball or a soda, has been valued in certain cases at the incredible price of $50,000. Today, we are going to explore a truly fascinating piece of American coinage, the United States of America Washington quarter dollar, dated 1995 with the D mint mark. This is not just a piece of change. This is a coin with history, with character, and with value that can make your jaw drop once you realize what collectors are willing to pay for it. Let's take a step back in time. The Washington Quarter series was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of the very first President of the United States, George Washington. The original plan was actually to issue this coin as a one-year commemorative design, but it was received with such enthusiasm that it became the permanent design for the quarter dollar. Since then, the Washington Quarter has become one of the longest-running series in American coinage history, capturing the hearts of both casual collectors and serious numismatists. Now, by the time we reached the mid-1990s, the Washington Quarter had already been in circulation for more than 60 years. Millions upon millions of these coins were struck at different mints, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But here is where the story gets interesting. The quarter minted in Denver in 1995, marked with a small letter D, holds a special place in the eyes of collectors. Why does the mint mark matter? Every mint facility in the United States has its own traditions and production standards. The Denver Mint, located in Colorado, has been striking coins since the early 1900s, and coins from this facility carry the D mint mark. On the 1995 quarter, you will notice this small D placed just to the right of Washington's ponytail on the obverse. For many people it is just a tiny detail, but for coin collectors it can make the difference between an ordinary piece of change and a highly desirable rarity. Now let's talk about condition. Condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. Most of the 1995 D quarters that we encounter today are worn down from years of circulation. They might have scratches, nicks, or faded details from passing through countless hands. These circulated examples are usually only worth face value, 25 cents. But here's the magic: if you happen to come across one in pristine condition, with no signs of wear and with sharp striking details, then you are looking at a potential treasure. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC evaluate these coins under strict standards, and those rare examples that achieve the highest grades become incredibly valuable. But the story does not end there. The 1995 D Washington Quarter also carries importance because of its timing. The mid-1990s were a transitional era in American coinage. The U.S. Mint was already preparing for the launch of the revolutionary 50-state quarters program, which began in 1999 and completely changed the way people looked at pocket change. Because of this, collectors today often look back at coins struck right before the state quarters era with renewed interest. The 1995 D stands out as one of those significant pre-state quarter issues. Think about the mystery and excitement this creates. Every time you hold a Washington Quarter from 1995, you might be holding nothing more than 25 cents, or you might be holding something worth a fortune. The thrill comes from searching, examining, and discovering that one coin in a sea of millions that stands apart from the rest. That's why coin collecting is not just a hobby. It's a treasure hunt. It's history you can hold in your hand. Now let's add in another layer. Coin values are not only determined by condition and mint marks, but also by market demand. Over the years, auctions have revealed that collectors are willing to pay astonishing amounts for the finest examples of these coins. Prices climb higher and higher when two or more passionate collectors compete to own the best of the best. This is when ordinary change turns into extraordinary wealth. So, after all this history, detail, and background, the question remains: how much can the 1995 D Washington Quarter dollar really be worth in the most exceptional condition? Well, here comes the answer you've been waiting for. In its rarest and finest state, preserved in mint quality with perfect grading, this coin has been valued at an unbelievable price of $40,000. Today's treasure hunt takes us straight to the heart of American history with the United States of America Washington quarter dollar, minted in the year 1998, carrying the Philadelphia Mint mark P. Now, many of you might be thinking, what could possibly be special about a quarter from 1998? After all, that doesn't sound like an ancient coin from centuries ago. But here's the magic of numismatics: rarity and value don't always depend on age alone. Instead, they depend on details, on mint marks, on conditions of preservation, and sometimes even on the tiniest mistakes made during the minting process. And the 1998 P. Washington quarter is a shining example of this. Let's start with its origins. The Washington Quarter series began all the way back in 1932, designed to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the nation's first president. What was supposed to be a one-year commemorative issue became a permanent part of American currency because of its popularity. Year after year, decade after decade, the Washington Quarter continued to roll out of the mints, each coin carrying with it a piece of national pride and history. Fast forward to 1998. The world was changing rapidly. The internet age was rising, technology was booming, and America was heading into a new millennium. Yet, amidst all this modern progress, traditional coins like the Washington Quarter were still being minted and used in everyday life. In that year, the Philadelphia Mint struck millions of quarters, each bearing the small but significant letter P. On the obverse, George Washington's portrait remained timeless. His face looks to the left, strong and determined, reminding Americans of leadership and liberty. Above him stands the word liberty, bold and proud. To the left of his chin, we see the phrase "In God We Trust," a motto deeply tied to the nation's identity. And beneath his portrait, the date 1998 tells us when this particular piece of history was born. Flip the coin to its reverse, and you'll find the iconic eagle, wings spread wide, perched upon a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath. This design symbolizes both strength and peace, America's ability to defend itself, yet its desire for harmony. It's simple, it's powerful, and it was the face of the Washington Quarter until the state quarters program began just 1 year later, in 1999. That alone makes the 1998 issue special. It was the final year of the traditional eagle reverse before the United States entered a brand new chapter of coin design. Now, what makes the 1998 P. Washington Quarter so fascinating for collectors? It's not only about nostalgia or design, it's about rarity in condition. The Philadelphia Mint produced massive numbers, yes, but most went straight into circulation. They rattled around in cash registers, vending machines, pockets, purses, and piggy banks. They were used, spent, scratched, and worn down. Finding a 1998 P quarter in circulation today isn't hard. But finding one in absolutely pristine, untouched, high-grade condition? That is a true challenge. And this is where the real treasure hunt begins. Collectors search for coins that have been preserved almost perfectly, showing no wear, no scratches, and retaining their original luster, as if they just rolled off the minting press yesterday. Coins like these are graded by professional services, and when a 1998 P. Washington Quarter achieves one of those extremely high grades, its value skyrockets. Add to that any special minting quirks, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or sharp, crystal-clear details, and you've got yourself a numismatic gem. Think about it this way: millions of people handled these quarters every single day. They bought groceries, paid for gas, made change for lunch. Nobody thought twice about them. Yet, hidden among those ordinary coins, a tiny handful survived in extraordinary condition, becoming objects of desire for collectors all over the world. And here's the beauty of coin collecting: it's not just about money, it's about history. Each coin is a time capsule. The 1998 P quarter connects us to the late 90s, to the final days of the eagle reverse, and to a nation preparing for a new century. It carries with it the artistry of its engravers, the pride of its symbolism, and the legacy of George Washington himself. For many collectors, owning a 1998 P Washington Quarter in near-perfect condition isn't just about holding metal, it's about holding a piece of American heritage. And when heritage and rarity come together, value follows. Now, after all this build-up, let's talk about the figure everyone has been waiting for. While most quarters are worth just 25 cents, the very best examples of the 1998 P Washington quarter dollar, the ones in the rarest conditions, preserved with stunning detail, have reached values that will make you look twice at every coin in your pocket. Because in the world of collectors, this small piece of change has been valued as high as $35,000. Today, we're diving deep into the history, mystery, and potential fortune behind one very special coin, the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from the year 2001 with the D mint mark. Now, on the surface, this coin may look like any ordinary quarter that people used every day for buying snacks, making change at the grocery store, or sliding into a vending machine. But sometimes, the smallest pieces of change carry the biggest secrets, and this 2001 D Washington quarter is a perfect example. First, let's talk about the design. On the obverse, or the front, we see the familiar portrait of George Washington, the very first president of the United States, a figure who symbolizes leadership, strength, and the foundation of a nation. His image on the quarter has been trusted and recognized since the 1930s. On the reverse side, the coin celebrates one of the beautiful state quarter designs that captured the imagination of collectors and everyday people alike in the early 2000s. Each state quarter told a story, and the 2001 series was part of that legendary program. But what truly makes the 2001 D Washington quarter stand out is not just its design, but its rarity in certain conditions. The D mint mark shows us that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the busiest mints in the country. Millions upon millions of quarters rolled out of Denver that year, but here's where the story gets interesting. Not all coins are created equal. Some quarters slip through the cracks of history with errors, unique striking qualities, or extraordinary conditions that separate them from the rest of the pile. Imagine how many hands a regular quarter passes through in its lifetime: cash registers, pockets, piggy banks, even being lost under couch cushions. But every once in a while, one of these coins survives the test of time in nearly perfect condition, untouched, uncirculated, or with an extraordinary flaw that makes collectors' hearts race. The 2001 D Washington quarter can be one of those coins. Experts and collectors constantly keep their eyes open for special examples that may look ordinary at first glance but could hold immense value. It's the thrill of the hunt. You never really know what's hiding in your spare change until you look closely. So, why does this quarter matter so much? Because certain 2001 D Washington quarters, especially those with pristine mint state conditions or rare striking details, have been known to shock the coin world with their high demand. Collectors everywhere are searching for the finest examples to complete their collections, and the bidding wars for these coins can reach levels you wouldn't believe for just 25 cents of metal. Think about it, a single coin that once bought a piece of candy or paid a toll could actually be worth an amount that changes someone's entire perspective on pocket change. That's the magic of coin collecting. It transforms everyday objects into treasures of history, culture, and wealth. So, if you happen to come across a 2001 D Washington quarter dollar, don't just toss it aside or drop it into a coin jar. Take a closer look, because you might just be holding a rare and valuable piece of American history. Inspect the details, the condition, and any possible errors that could set your coin apart from the millions of others. And here's the part you've been waiting for: in the right condition, with the right eye of a collector, this very coin can reach a value as high as $5,000. Thank you for joining us today on Coin Collector's World, where every episode brings you closer to the hidden value inside your pocket change. Remember to subscribe, like, and share so more collectors can join our growing community of treasure hunters. Keep searching, keep collecting, and never stop believing that the next coin you find could be the discovery of a lifetime. Until next time, this is Coin Collector's World, where coins tell stories and collectors make history.